of course, when we have storm activity, Kevin, we expect that to be something that's responded to by the Road Commission, particularly in the winter. But this time of the year, that storm damage can also be quite extensive. And so for that, we're going to bring in Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County for a little bit more perspective on how they support our local communities when storm damage affects our roads. Craig, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this. Your team was involved in helping to clear Commerce Road in our community overnight as a tree had fallen down as a result of some of the storms and the damage from that storm on Wednesday. So let's get to it in this conversation. Like I said, mostly we think about response from the Road Commission on our roads after storm activity, particularly in the winter, clearing the snow and other debris. But you do quite extensive work also over the severe weather season in the spring and summer. What are some of the many ways that the Road Commission partners with our local communities for road-related situations after these storms?
Well, it can be anything from flooding to down trees to you name it. And we're on call 24/7. We do, as you mentioned, we do work closely with all the police departments all across the county. And in this case, we had crews out in various places all across, mostly the western and southern parts of the county, as well as in West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake area. And as soon as we know, we send crews out to start cleaning things up and get the roads open. Of course, our top priority is to open the roads and make sure everything is safe on the roads. So that's part of what we do year round, above and beyond snow clearing and salting in the winter.
And so when a situation arises like what happened overnight at Commerce and Hiller Road, where a tree falls, really, as we showed on the screen just a moment ago, straight across the road as that happened, and it requires an immediate response to clear the roadway, how does the Road Commission then spring into action? How is that notified, and what steps do you take as the Road Commission for Oakland County to support?
Well, typically it's either a resident or a police department that contacts our 24-hour dispatch. Dispatch immediately notifies the superintendent or the foreman in charge of that area, who goes out, assesses the situation, determines if a crew is needed. Sometimes, depending on the situation, that individual can clear it themselves, or they call in a crew. In extreme cases, we might need to get a contractor in to help out, but typically we'll get a forestry crew in a situation like that with chainsaws and just start cutting things up and clearing the road. Typically, our crews can get there relatively quickly, but of course the staff members have to come from their homes at that time in the morning and get out there and get it cleared as quickly as possible.
And how about on the other side, before we get into these storms, what sort of preparation does go into that for your team? As you said, some employees have to be, in some cases, called in to respond to these situations. So what sort of preparation goes into anticipating potential damage from these storms?
Well, first and foremost, we monitor the weather 365 days a year. We have our own weather forecasting service. We also closely watch the National Weather Service. So we have a pretty good idea when there's the potential for this kind of thing. Of course, that doesn't mean there's going to be a problem, and sometimes problems come along when there was no weather forecast suggesting there will be. But we don't have work crews on duty 24 hours. We have dispatch people on duty 24 hours a day, but all of our crews are on call. And the superintendents and foremen, the supervision folks, know that they need to be ready to go 24/7. They know how to mobilize their crews. They know who they're going to call. They just need to assess what type of work needs to be done, what equipment needs to be brought to the location, and they're very, very skilled at making those decisions. They're very good at jumping into action very quickly. That's why they take their road commission pickup trucks home with them, so they can immediately jump in their trucks, get out to the location, assess things, and get the required crews and equipment there as quickly as possible.
And you mentioned earlier on that in some of these cases, when storms come through, they do damage that affects our roadways. Sometimes it's our local police departments or other emergency services departments that do contact the road commission for Oakland County, but it also can be residents. So if a resident in the greater West Bloomfield area throughout the severe weather season notices an issue on the road, a tree has fallen, some debris blocking the lane, whatever the case may be, how should they go about reporting that to the road commission?
Right. They can, the best way to do it is call our 24-hour dispatch office. That's 877-858-4804. And we've got, as I said, we've got a dispatch person on duty around the clock. That person will identify where the issue is, identify the supervision person who is on call for that area, and immediately share the information with them. The supervision will take it from there, decide what's needed, and assess the situation. As I mentioned, this does happen year-round. It's not only winter activities. We have the same types of things sometimes happen with flooding. We'll have drainage problems that we get called in for, where we have, for example, a drainage structure that is clogged. We'll have to come in and clear that, or a tree down, that type of thing.
More information can be found on rcocweb.org, or follow them on Facebook for more information and updates at RoadCom. And again, that phone number, if you want to report an issue, 877-858-4804. That is available on their website at rcocweb.org. Craig, before we let you go, anything else that our audience should be aware of as we're in now the thick of severe weather season and they think about that relationship between severe weather and our roads?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you said, I mean, we can't be everywhere all the time. We're not typically out on the roads very much in the middle of the night. So if something happens, we rely on the residents and the local police departments to be kind of the eyes and ears. And if you do see something that could be either a safety threat or blocking a road, please call that number and let us know as soon as possible, and we will respond as quickly as we can to it. So we appreciate the eyes and ears of the public, the police departments, local officials that are out there. That's a big help for us.
More information on rcocweb.org and Facebook at RoadCom, Road, C-O-M-M. Craig, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.